3 years, 2 months, and 14 days. That's how long I'd been living in my two-story colonial in Sunset Hills, the only black homeowner in a neighborhood so white it could double as a snowstorm. I'm Malik Jackson, 34 IT manager, and I'd saved 15 years worth of money for this dream home. Wraparound porch, 3 bedrooms, and a backyard, begging for the hot tub I'd promised myself since college. But on a Tuesday evening, folding laundry in my white polo and jean shorts, the doorbell didn't ring. It attacked my peace like a jackhammer. Through the peephole, I viewed Vanessa Thornton, HOA president, a woman in her 60s whose hair was pulled so tightly it appeared to be holding her face hostage, wearing a navy blazer, shouting authority. Beside her stood her husband, Officer Carl Thornton, a balding cop whose uniform constricted around his gut, pointing at me like I'd stolen his lunch. Their son Dylan was 15 years old, hanging back in hand, a pizza slice sneering as if I were trash from yesterday. 3 fancy suitcases lined up on my porch, shining under the light. Malik Jackson, Vanessa stated, clipboard in hand. "We must speak. Evening, Mrs. Thornton," I said, standing in the doorway. "What is this about?" Her lip curled at my calm. "A family crisis," she stated, voice full of false sympathy. "My sister's Tampa house was destroyed by a storm. She needs somewhere to stay for a month. As you've got the largest house on Maple Street and you live by yourself, the HOA board's decided you'll take them in." I blinked. "Excuse me." Carl moved forward, hand on his belt. "You heard her, son. Community emergency, do your part." "I'm 34, I snapped. "Not your son. This is my home, my deed, my cash. Nobody determines who lives here but me." Vanessa's smile flickered. Her bylaw 247B, in community emergencies. Residence with space has to include living accommodations. I'd read those bylaws word for word, knowing people like her were out there. That bylaws regarding parking space for repair on driveways, not usurping strangers into my house. Dylan interjected, grease on his chin. "Dad, just take him in. He's being obstinate." Carl's face re-eaned. "Don't complicate this, Malik. My wife's supportive relatives. Do the right thing." The audacity was appalling to cop menacing me because I wouldn't allow his in-laws to come in. "Explain the law I'm taking," I said, yanking out my phone. "Don't tape me." Carl growled, reaching for it. I moved back. "My property, my right." Vanessa played her card. "Your behaviors. Why we've received complaints. Mrs. Larson said your music was too loud. The Wilsons mentioned your crooked parking and that unsanctioned vegetable patch. Mrs. Larson was 87 and complained about squirrels. The Wilsons hadn't talked to me in 3 years, grumbling about property values, my tomatoes in my backyard. So I told, gazing at Carl, your wife's threatening HOA fines, because I won't let you live here for free, and you're backing her with a badge." Their glance confirmed it. Power control and a bet I'd fold because of my skin. "Reconsider by morning," Vanessa said, ice in her voice, "or I'll pursue all options." Dylan smirked. "Nice place, be nicer with us in it." They loaded their suitcases into their white SUV, leaving me in a declared war, their blunder believing I'd yield to pressure. At 6:47 a.m., pounding awakened. Minute knocking, but a fist in command, surrendering. Through the peephole, Carl stood, 2 cops, Vanessa and Dylan, peering from their SUV, Malik Jackson opening up. "We've got an arrest warrant." Heart racing, I opened the door. Hands in sight. Warrant for what? Domestic terrorism, terrorist threats, harassment of a public official. Carl said, "Cuffs." Gleaming. "You threatened to burn my home and hurt my family." The reserve cops moved nervously. Officer Daniels, a young black man, spoke in a calm tone. "Turn around, hands behind your back," clarified downtown. "This is crazy," I said, obeying. "I just won't let them stay here. Witnesses contradict otherwise." Carl sneered. "Mrs. Larson overheard you." Fred Larson. The Wilsons witnessed gestures. My wife wrote it down. Handcuffs snapped. They'd rehearsed this. Vanessa provided falsehoods to neighbors. Carl used his badge as a weapon. "I want my lawyer," I said at the station. Carl replied, "Terrorism's federal." "You're in deep in Daniel's cruiser." He glanced back. "Rick's been planning this for weeks. Talking about teaching some boy respect?" That's not police work. Weeks, I said. This started yesterday. Daniels nodded. Be careful. Processed like a felon prince, mugshots, shoelaces confiscated. It called Lena Patel, a defense attorney I'd met at a networking event. She took the case, but warned terrorism charges were heavy. 2 weeks in lockup after cellmate was flamingo thief and serial conspiracy freak. Rage turned cold, sharp, dangerous. Lena bailed me out. Charges dropped. The witnesses don't, or recanted. She said, Mrs. Larson confessed Vanessa coached her. The Wilsons won't speak. The DA's furious at Carl for bogus charges, but this isn't over. He's labeling you a troublemaker who threatened cops. A text from unknown number struck. Learned your lesson, boy. Next time, remain in your lane. Lena screenshotted it. Witness intimidation. She wrote, We're suing Carl, Vanessa, the HOA, the police department for millions, false arrests, civil rights violations, harassment. Carl will not wear a badge again. Home was hostile, neighbors, curtains twitching. My security footage was gold. Vanessa's porch requires Carl's threats. No sign of my terrorism. While I was incarcerated, cameras recorded. Vanessa checking my lawn 12 times, measuring grass, snapping photos. Carl and cops cruised by thrice. Him once patrolling my yard at night with a flashlight. Research uncovered Carl's 18-year history of excessive force and racial profiling complaints. Dismissed but evident, Vanessa's HOA regime was more sinister. Online forums outlined her targeting minorities, coercing sales over lawn gnomes or fence lines. Their finances were in shambles. A second mortgage, high-interest car loans, Dylan's private school expulsions. Their emergency was a sham to avoid bills by housing relatives in my home. Lena constructed a conspiracy case 6 months before Carl's mortgage. For months, Vanessa's minority targeted complaints. 3 months. Carl's respect rants. 2 months. Their bylaw. Push. 1 month, my targeting officer Daniels met us exposing Carl's department, bullying, threatening cops, who questioned my arrest, bragging about putting me in my place. He had recordings I'm helping because Carl's everything. I swore not to be, Daniels said. Media exploded. Channel 7's Lisa and Gwyn aired footage of Carl's threats against my calm refusal, exposing Vanessa's lies. It went viral, named HOA tyrant and cop, try to steal black man's home. CNN, MSNBC, and Netflix called I selected CNN's Don Lemon, playing the video and commenting, This isn't just M, it's what happens when power ignores your rights because of race. Justice for Malik went viral. Vanessa's HOA presidency ended. The board removed her. Carl was dismissed after Daniel's testimony and recordings of him boasting about being racist. The civil suit asked for $2.3 million, claiming false imprisonment and rights abuses. Discovery revealed Carl's racist texts and Vanessa's emails conspiring to remove minorities in addition to a lease for her sister to lease my house while I accommodated them scam-free. Their depositions were savage. Lena dismantled Carl's good faith arguments with his rehearsed witness video. Vanessa's I don't see race fell apart against her slurs and targeting. We rejected settlements insisting on a trial. The public apology hearing was a sideshow. Judge Evelyn Carter. No nonsense presided over a crowded courtroom. Carl, gone out of jail, apologized, initial voice shaking. I misused my badge, made false reports, and abused Malik's rights due to race. Gasps trailed Vanessa's admission. I harassed Malik and minorities, misappropriated HOA funds, and faked a family crisis to bilk free housing. Tears were shed as she confessed racial slurs. Judge Carter denounced them. You made a badge and HOA into instruments of racism, embarrassing your institutions. To me, she said, your bravery ignited reforms, safeguarding others. Outside supporters and journalists flocked. A black family expressed gratitude, motivated to sue their HOA. 6 months after Carl, on parole, had worked mall security, Vanessa, convicted of embezzlement, had faced bankruptcy. Their home foreclosed, Dylan was expelled, once more arrested for stealing where Carl was employed. The Malik Act required HOA civil rights training, and a scholarship in my name sponsored law students combating discrimination. One evening in my Triumph Polo, I witnessed a news report on the Jackson Standards changing police. A call from Lena described Carl and Vanessa's unsuccessful lawsuit against their insurer at a loss. On my front porch now, a detective. Daniels gratefully thanked me. You saved our department. Sunset Hills' new HOA president, Mrs. Larson, apologized over the airwaves. While I slept in my home, the one they tried to take, I smiled. Vanessa and Carl coveted my residence. They achieved notoriety, their names forever linked with racism and destruction. While my battle protected others, justice, slow but furious, had.